All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Don Daniel, founder of Pill Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And for 18 years, we've been on this mission telling people that there is a better way, that you need to focus on interest cost, not interest rate, and that you can eliminate up to 75, even to 80% of your scheduled interest payments and pay off all of your debt in 7 to 9 years on average. Oh, people say, Don, it's hard for me to believe that. How in the world can we listen? We're used to paying off these mortgages, or even not even paying off these mortgages in 30 years. But you're saying we can pay off all of the debt, mortgages, and everything in about 7? How is that even possible? Well, we've been proving it for 18 years. Been proving it for 18 years. Here's a couple of things you may want to take a look at. Google P.I.L.L method, and you'll find out that the P.I.L.L method has no complaints on their Better Business Bureau. Over an 18-year span, no complaints. How about that? We have a 5-star rating, Better Business Bureau. Oh, and if you Google P.I.L.L method or use any search engine, look for even one negative word about this program from anybody who's actually used it in 18 years. That's a hard thing to accomplish. And we thank God for that. All right. We thank God for that. But here's the thing, folks. When you are a lone voice, that's a lonely place, and you may have something that is beneficial, that is groundbreaking, but hardly anybody is listening. Now, listen, I want to ask you something. All right. If you want to come to the stage, please do. If you're on Clubhouse, come on up come on, raise your hand, come to the stage. All right. Because today we're going to be getting into this. And thank you, everybody who is on. People watching us from YouTube and Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Good morning to you all. And for those of you who are on Clubhouse, good morning to you. Tell us where you're from. Tell us where you're from. Good morning. And I am here in Huntsville, Alabama. All right. All right. Good morning from Huntsville. We're putting it in the chat right now. All right. From Huntsville. And tell us where you're from. Okay. And so we want to greet you properly. And so if you're here on Clubhouse, do that. So here's what I want to point out to you. I want to ask you guys a question. All right. Lynette wants to come to the stage. Invite her to speak. Come on up, Miss Lynette. Miss Lynette has a party hat, which means she's been on Clubhouse for less than a week. So congratulations, Miss Lynette. And you chose to be here with us in the Mortgage Syndicate house. We're actually the P.I.L.L method house, but we join forces with the Mortgage Syndicate every Sunday morning. So I just invited you up. If you want to come up, listen, if you, every Sunday morning. There you go, Miss Lynette. How are you doing this morning? You up. If you want to come up, listen,
Hi.
Hi, Miss Lynette. Yes, do you have us on your computer as well?
Yes, I do. So what should I do?
Turn your volume down on the computer.
Yes, you have us on your computer as well? I do, so I can view you.
Yes, turn the volume down because we're getting feedback.
Okay. Is that better?
That is way better. That is way better.
Okay, excellent. Good.
So, Miss Lynette, where are you from?
I'm from Barbados, but I live in New York, in Westchester.
Ah, okay. You live in New York. Okay. And so how did you hear about us?
From Living Manor Church.
Oh my!
I viewed you yesterday.
Living Manor Church. Okay, listen.
Yes.
There are a lot of Living Manor Church members right now that are viewing us on YouTube along with you. So thank you for being here this morning.
Of course, of course.
So you got some information from us yesterday. What inspired you to come back?
Well, I got the information. The first pill, I took the red pill last week. when you joined us for the first time.
Yes.
And I came back for a second red pill this week.
All right. All right. So we're going to actually get into the pill method and understand what P.I.L.L actually stands for. But thank you so much for being here. And if any of you also want to speak to me, download um, uh, Clubhouse on your phone, and it's an audio app. And search for either Don Daniel or Pill Method or ICE, and you'll find us. And then follow and listen, and then you'll be able to speak to us this morning. But if you just rather type your responses or your questions, go ahead and do that in the comments section if you're following us on YouTube. Now, also, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. You can like the videos and you can comment. All right, Ms. Lynette, thank you so much for being here. Do you have a question for me this morning?
No, I'm excited to hear what you have to say because it's all excellent knowledge.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And so we're going to mute you out right about now, but you can stay on the stage. And if you have if there is a question that comes up, interrupt me and ask your questions. Okay.
Will do. Thank you.
You're so welcome. All right. There you go, Miss Lynette. So she understood the assignment and downloaded Clubhouse so she can actually speak to us from New York today. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started. I want to point something else. I want to point out something to you. I want to ask a question this morning just to get our juices flowing. Do you know what causes ulcers? Do you know what causes stomach ulcers? All right. What do you think that is? Put your answer in the chat or type it into the comment section. Go ahead. What causes ulcers? What do you think? All right. Stomach ulcers. And Rose Tennefield from California says, good morning. Good morning to you, Rose. And Gerald Best says, worrying. Lynette Gooding says, stress. Okay. Anybody else on Clubhouse? All right. These are so Gerald is here from Wyoming. And thank you very much for being here. And he says worrying. Oh, no. He says worrying. He is not from Wyoming. Gerald, where are you from? Just tell us. And Lynette Gooding says stress. Rose Tennefield says stress. All right. That is a common belief. That is a common belief. We're going to put something on the screen this morning. And I want you to see here. And I want you to know that our producer this morning is none other than Kirk Nugent, who is the pastor for social media at Oakwood University Church here in Huntsville. And we are privileged to have him with us this morning. This is a picture online, folks. If you want to see what we're doing online, go to YouTube so you can see this. Barry J. Marshall. Probably none of you have ever heard of Barry J. Marshall. All right. But in the 70s, he was born in 1951, but in the 70s, he discovered what actually causes ulcers. He discovered that ulcers were caused by a bacteria called H. pylori. For short, Helicobacter pylori is the actual name of this bacteria. And when he discovered that, and then he actually wrote papers on it, did the research, no one anywhere believed him. No, Lynette Gooding said, oh yes, H. pylori. Okay. Lynette Gooding knows about this. So I'm telling you the story. And listen, I want to make sure that you guys can get this story. Let me get a link for you. We're going to put it in the chat because this is an interesting story. All right. So let's go ahead and get this. And let me see. BRRRY. And okay. All right. And all right, there we go. And let me copy the link. All right, and I'm putting it in the comment section. I'm going to send it over to our engineer here in the private chat so he can have it. All right. You can download this article. All right. And I'm also going to put it in, I'm going to put it at the top of the page in Clubhouse for now. All right. So we're going to put it in there. There it is. Pin the link. All right. We're going to put that link in there so that you can download this. All right, we're going to add that link. All right, there you go. All right, so this guy's name is Barry J. Marshall, Dr. Barry J. Marshall, who discovered this, and no one believed him. No one believed him, and he wrote papers and it did research on this thing for years. 4 years. So he would go to conferences, and people were saying, he was peddling snake oil. And he said, now the entire medical community was of the mindset that bacteria cannot live in stomach acid. Cannot. It is impossible. So how could a bacteria cause ulcers when when bacteria can't live in stomach acid? They can't thrive there. And so even though he wrote good papers, some of his papers were not even accepted. They were outright rejected by the medical community. When he would go to conferences, they would laugh him off the stage. But he didn't give up. All right. He didn't give up. So he discovered this in the 70s. And even though no one believed him, he says, you know what? He actually convinced somebody to work with him. Okay. And what he finally did was in I think it was 1983 or 84. He says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to prove it to everyone. Do you know how he decided to prove it? Does anybody know? Does anybody know how he decided to prove it? He mixed up a slurry of the bacteria and he drank it. That's how much he believed in what he was talking about. This was in 1984. He drank it, gave himself ulcers, and then cured himself with antibiotics and the forerunner to what we now call Pepto-Bismol. And so after doing all of this study, going through all of the rejections, and people calling him basically a quack doctor. Why are you? In fact, it was deemed medical practice suicide to advance this theory. But he kept on. In 1984, he did the study, and after having his stomach scoped, they could see that the ulcers were there, and then a 2-week treatment, the ulcers disappeared. The common way of getting rid of ulcers or treating ulcers was surgery. People would lose large sections of their stomach only to have the ulcers reappear. But surgery was the way to go in those days. So in 1984, he proved it. But do you realize it was another 10 years before he had his results certified? And then the medical community started to believe him. Now, he started this journey in the 70s. And it was in 1984 that no one believed him. He actually had to drink the stuff himself, give himself ulcers, and then cure himself before people even began to listen. And it was another 10 years until the results were actually certified. And in 2005, he actually won a Nobel Prize for medicine. Started in the 70s, kept on, and finally people started to believe him because he was a lone voice against the entire medical community. So folks ask me all the time, Don, if the pill method is so powerful, If the pill method is correct, why isn't everybody doing it? Because we're a lone voice. Who else is talking about you can get rid of debt in 7 years? We have people who are on the program that have been doing this for years. We have people who are paying off their third and fourth mortgage. If you take a look at my book, okay, in my book, I have actually two people in my book who tell their story. One of them is a dean of Edwards Hall at Oakwood University, who actually, on a dean's salary, paid off his mortgage in less than 7 years. On a dean's salary at a private college or university, a dean's salary paid off his mortgage in less than 7 years. And he puts his story in my book. And now, do you realize he owns a farm right outside Huntsville that he's taken from the proceeds on a dean's salary and doing great things with his money? All right. There are, maybe some of you actually know these folks, but have you ever heard of Take Six? The singing group, they have 9 Grammys. 9 Grammys. 2 members of Take Six are on this program. 2 members. Have you heard of Naturally Seven? Naturally Seven, 1 member of Naturally Seven is on this program. Have you ever heard of Dr. Eric Thomas? E.T., the hip hop preacher, actually used the pill method to pay off his mortgage in record time. The reason why I'm telling you this, folks, is because we've been doing this long enough, and we have some high profile people who are actually doing what of advancing the pill method and using it and paying off not only 1 house, but 2 houses, not only 2 houses, but 3 houses, 4 houses on this program. And one couple started in 2008, and they're paying off their 4th or 5th house now. Their children are not even in junior high yet. That is amazing what's going on here. So the word is getting out. The word is getting out, folks, but don't let that stop you. Continue to research. If the light bulbs don't come on now, continue to watch the videos, because we have over 200 videos on YouTube right now. Continue to watch the videos, and you will actually begin to see that. It says, Horace Jennings says, I know this to be true. What do you know to be true, Horace Jennings? Come on, tell the people what you know to be true. What do you know to be true, Horace? Because he's on YouTube right now watching us. All right. And he says, good morning from Virginia. Good morning, Horace. Good to see you again. All right. Tell the people what you know to be true. So I need you to go ahead and read that article and know that all the good ideas, all the innovations that you enjoy today started with people who were scoffed at and laughed at, but they continued to do what they were, to continue to promote the idea that God gave them until it was widely accepted. Did you know that that Steve Jobs and Microsoft guy? Who's Microsoft guy? What's his name? Okay. Horace Jennings says, I was with you when you interviewed one of the members from Take Six. How about that? He was with us when we interviewed one of the members of Take Six, and they said, now we have that interview, and that is on our YouTube channel. All right. So I'm not telling you stuff. We're not just making that up. All right. We're just telling you what is going on with this thing. But Bill Gates, all right, and Bill Gates and Steve Jobs said, there will be a computer in every home. A computer in every home. Do you realize that when they were saying that, at the time, computers were almost as large as houses? And they were telling people there's going to come a time where there are going to be computers in every home. And now we have several computers in the house. My goodness. Do you realize I got my iPhone right here. Who knows when the iPhone came out? When did the iPhone come out? I mean, a handheld computer right here, iPhone. All right. When did the iPhone come out? Does anybody know what year the iPhone came out? Okay. It was 2000, I believe it was 2007. Can you believe it? 2007. Listen, these handheld devices are so common now. It's hard to believe they didn't come out until 2007. The first versions of this thing. And this thing, it's a powerful handheld computer or your laptop. Okay? I got a laptop that is almost paper thin. Can you imagine that? The first laptops were gigantic. but now look at them. All the things that we are working with today were innovations just a few years ago started with just one or two individuals that believed in what they were talking about. Let's get into it today, what P.I.L.L method stands for. I'm going to take Barry's article down here. We're going to put up my business card, my digital card, ice10k.com, ice10k.com. We're going to put that up. All right. Read that article, folks. Don't let the fact that there are it's on millions of people across the board understand this idea of interest cancellation to be true when most people are still practicing the debt snowball to get rid of debt, or the avalanche method, or biweekly payments on your mortgage, or rounding up your mortgage payment, putting just a little bit more with it every single month, or refinancing to get a lower interest rate. All of these things have existed for years. And still, 9 out of 10 people will never pay off a mortgage. Isn't that something? Lynette Gooding says, amazing how far things have come in such a short space of time. But Lynette, do you know when the iPhone came out, did you know that there were people out there saying, oh no, you're going to have to pry my BlackBerry out of my cold, dead hand. And I was one of them. Okay. I'm going to keep my BlackBerry forever. I am not going to that iPhone thing. And BlackBerry doesn't even support those little devices anymore. Can you imagine how ideas change in just a short period of time? Every home, let me tell you something. What we're using is artificial intelligence. The P.I.L.L method is using artificial intelligence to do the math so that we can undo what the math that the banks are using to take a 3% mortgage and turn it into a 51% mortgage. We're undoing the math that takes a 4% mortgage and says, you know what? We need you to pay us back 71% of what you borrowed in interest. If you have a $100,000 mortgage at 4%, the bank wants you to pay them over 30 years, $71,000 interest on a $100,000 loan. How is that 4%? What kind of math? People say, Don, it's hard for us to believe that you can pay off a loan in 7 years. But isn't it harder to believe that if I have a 4% mortgage on $100,000, I'm going to actually pay back $71,000 in interest, knowing that on $100,000, 4% is not $71,000. But yet and still, we sign up for those mortgages because this is the way everybody has accepted it as the way to get it done. And we stop asking questions. We stop asking questions. Rose Tennefield says she looked it up. She looked it up. Her mortgage papers say 124%. Thank you, Rose. Okay. So 124% means that she has 124%. I bet her interest rate is about 5.5. A better interest rate is about 5.5% to get 124%. No, wait a second. 6% is 150. I'm sorry, 6.5, about 6.5%. How much would it be for 973,000 at 5%? Lynette Gooding, she has come with the very first question this morning. So we're going to put it on. So folks, she sent that to me on YouTube. All right. So if you want to see the answer to this, go ahead and go to YouTube, and we're going to show you how much interest. All right. Now, I'm guessing, Lynette, if you have $973,000 mortgage, my guess is that you're in California somewhere. That's just my guess. Okay. Because 973,000 to $1.5 million. I mean, that is so common in California. It's not even funny. All right. And this is what they're dealing with, folks. So let's take Barry off the screen. We're going to take Barry off the screen, and we're going to put up an amortization calculator. All right. Oh, yeah. New York, same thing. New York, same thing. New York, listen, very expensive place to live. Very expensive place to live. And then you got to get a mortgage on top of that. And then everybody is accepting that it takes 30 years to pay it off. Do you realize, with the common ways that we're handling this debt now, do you realize that 9 out of 10 people you know will never pay off a mortgage? With all the things that we're doing now, with all the things that are already in place and that have been accepted as common practice, just like surgery was the common practice for ulcers, everybody's doing that and everybody's promoting that. But still, 9 out of 10 people you know will never pay off a mortgage. Why are we promoting a program where 90% of us fail? If your children went to a school that failed to graduate 90% of the students, would you send your children to that school? Come on, folks, put your answer in. Would you do that? Let's put in 973,000. 973,000. Okay. At 5% for 30 years. Okay. 5% for 30 years. All right. Oops. All right. And here's the answer. Here's the answer. The payment is $5,223.27. $5,223.27. And here is what the bank wants. All right. On $973,000 at 5%, the bank wants $907,377.20 in interest. That's 93% of what you borrowed. What? 93%. So, and you can see it over here. This is in your mortgage papers, everybody. It's been there for years, but they used to bury it. Now they have to make it more prominent. When you have a 5% loan for 30 years, it really means 93%. Okay. And when you start asking questions about it at closing, it says, why is the interest so much when my interest rate is 5%? Why is the amount of interest? Well, that's just the way that it works. But if you can pay, then they go into this thing, you can pay extra, or you could do it biweekly, and you can cut a bunch off, and then they just want you to keep signing so the closing will stay on time. They never really answer your question, why the interest is so much. Not that they're hiding it from you. It's because they don't even understand it themselves. Did you realize that a person who sells mortgages does not have to take a test on how mortgages actually work to get their license? What? Can you imagine that a surgeon, your surgeon, all right, that's taking out your appendix, only watched it on YouTube, and now they're going to take out your appendix? They only ever watch YouTube videos. Come on, everybody. Do you realize that the amortized loan is the most ubiquitous, I mean, the most well-known bank product in the entire world? It is the most popular bank product in the entire world, and we all use it. We use credit cards. We use car loans, mortgages, student loans, and the interest is being charged on all of them. And we have not even had one class anywhere on how it actually works. How in the world did that ever happen? That we use, and listen, people will argue me down or argue you down after watching some of these videos that this is the way to handle it. And they just assume, because of all the bad information they've ever received, they just assume that's all that you need to know. That's all that you need to know. All right. Let me put something else up here on my screen. All right. All right. What you see is all there is. Right? It's called, okay, there it is. It's a bias. Okay. It's called Wisiati. I have it on the screen right now. Wisiati. What you see is all there is. All right. It is a cognitive bias described by Daniel Kahneman in Thinking Fast and Slow. Daniel Kahneman is a Nobel Prize winning what is it called? Behavioral economist. All right. He's a behavioral economist. He's a Nobel Prize winning behavioral economist that came up with this. He's saying that it's a bias when it comes to finances, that what you see is all there is. Oh man, there is much more going on than behind the scenes than we actually know. What we don't know about these loans will fill an ocean. All right. And so we're going to go over today what P.I.L.L method actually stands for, that's going to help you to understand what's going on with these loans. Let's go back and take a look at this loan. I want to show you something here. That we have $973,000. The bank wants $907,000 in interest. When you get through paying this loan back, if you ever pay it back, if you ever pay this loan off, it will be $1,880,377.20 is what you're actually going to pay for that house. Let me ask you, everybody, do you want to pay $1,880,000 for your $973,000 house? Put it in the chat. Do you want to pay that much money for a $973,000 house? All right. Do you want to pay that much money so that you end up paying $1.88 million? Come on. What is the world? Lynette Gooding says no, exclamation point 3 times, capitalized. She says, no, we don't want to do that. No, we don't want to do that. Eric Toombs on Clubhouse says absolutely not. Save Lynn says absolutely not. We don't want to pay that kind of interest. And do you know you don't have to? You don't have to once you know how to read this. All right. So Rose Tennefield says, she's watching us on YouTube. She says, who would want to pay double, enriching the bankers and bank shareholders? All right. So let me ask you something, ladies and gentlemen. On this 907,000, what if you could pay this loan off in about 7 years. Okay, $907,000 in interest by 3, and end up paying 300,000, 290 to 300,000 interest on this. All right, cut it by 75%. What if you could cut it by 80%? The bank is looking for 900,000, but you're going to end up paying them a little less than 300,000 instead. Okay, would you like to be able to do that? That saves you over. It's going to save you $600,000 in interest. $600,000 in interest. All right. Now, what we have here in with the P.I.L.L method, we have a computer driven program. It's AI, artificially intelligent program that guides you and tells you exactly what to do. All right. And we're going to go over what the P.I.L.L method actually stands for today. But before we do that, I want to show you the only book that talks about this is the P.I.L.L method, A Better Way to Eliminate Debt. And we're going to put that on the screen right about now. Okay. The P.I.L.L method, A Better Way to Eliminate Debt. And we're just going to start there. You need to start teaching your children this. The reason why it's so hard for us to absorb this information is because we've been told the wrong thing for too long, and we have accepted it as the truth, and we're actually quite deceived on this notion. And that's why it's hard for people to accept it. So what we want to do is make sure that you can get to the point where you can actually start believing that a loan can be paid off in 7 years instead of 30 years to never. But please, if the grandparents would teach the grandchildren and teach your children and your nieces and nephews, if we start that young and teaching them that they don't have to pay on these loans for 30 years, then they'll never have to deal with the fact of having to unlearn bad information. Okay. It says, all right, somebody from let's see here. Roddy Roderick says, good morning, Brother Don. It says you gave us the link to the mortgage calculator that you are using. Yeah, it is the mortgage calculator that I'm using is brettwhissell.net, BRETWHISSEL.net. Okay, BRETWHISSEL.net. Putting it in the chat. Okay, there you go. brettwhissell.net is the one I use. This is for teaching purposes only. This is not my program. We're going to put the program on the screen in a little bit. But what we need to go over is we're going to go over the P, the I, the L, and the L so you can understand what is happening. Okay? So we're going to go back to, let me see here. We're going to put this back on the screen. All right. And let's start with the P.I.L.L method. All right. P stands for prepayment of principal. Prepayment of principal. We're going to put that back on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Kurt, prepayment of principal. What is prepayment of principal? Prepayment of principal actually means that once you make a full payment on your mortgage, on your student loan, on your credit cards, on your car loan, any money that you put on before the next payment is due is called a prepayment. But what most people don't understand about a prepayment, oh, it's still a little too small, Kurt. We need to make that big. Okay. What most people who are, there we go. All right. Then most people who understand this are looking at this. They know that they can pay extra, but they have no idea how much interest they can save. Let me give you an idea of what prepayment means before we go to the I, which stands for isolating the principal amount. Okay, before we go to the I, prepayment of principal means this: on this $900,000 mortgage we have, when we make that full payment of $5,223.27, $1,169.10 of your money goes to principal. That means to pay down the loan, but $4,054.17 goes to interest. That's what's going on. That is what's happening to these loans right now. So when you prepay, that means you don't have to pay some interest. So I'm going to give you just a couple of quick examples of what prepaying can actually do in this mortgage. You can prepay any amount, whether it's a penny, whether it's $1, $100, $1,000, $10,000, or you can prepay the whole loan and just pay it off. You can prepay any amount, but I'm going to show you what would happen if you had to make it easy to read and understand. If you made a payment here, like in January, all right, you made your full payment in January and you said, here is my principal payment for February, $1,173.97. If I gave that to the bank early, if I gave that to the bank in January as well, I just gave the bank my mortgage payment, and then I gave them an additional $1,173.97. That means all of that money would go to principal. I would be paid down to line 2 on my amortization schedule, and my next payment for February, which would be a full payment, but it would be on line 3 of my schedule. I can get rid of one whole payment off my 360-month payment schedule and just turn it into 359 payments by giving them a $1,173.97 early. That saves me $4,049.30 worth of interest I never have to pay. $4,049.30 in interest we just eliminated just like that. Isn't that something? But guess what? As soon as you pay something extra, even if you put an extra dime on this amortization schedule, do you realize it destroys this amortization schedule and you have to have a new one? You have to have a new one every time you pay anything extra. Yeah. So our program, our artificially intelligent program, keeps track of all of this for you. All right. So we have Arts First has something to say. It says, "Morning, Don." So it sounds like it would be better to start out a little differently in the first place. So if I'm planning to get a new mortgage, what would be the best way to go about the process? Okay. So first, Arts First, here's the first thing that you need to do. You need to know, because there are so many different ways to configure a mortgage, you need to know what's going to be best for you. So let me ask you, to find out the best type of mortgage for yourself, would it be wise to ask the mortgage professional to teach you which mortgage you need to get for yourself? Your mortgage professional, are they going to teach you the very best thing to do to save money? You guys tell me, what do you guys think? Where should they get the information from? Because setting up the mortgage is going to be half the battle. Getting the right mortgage for you, the right interest rate for you. Should we do a down payment? Should we buy points? Should we get a 30-year mortgage or 20 or 25-year mortgage or 15? All of these different choices are out there to set up. Should we get FHA or conventional? What should we do? So should we get our education from people who sell mortgages? You tell me, yes or no, people. Let's see your answers. Yes or no? You see, we are in the business of educating individuals on how mortgages actually work. So here's what you want. Okay. Lynette Gooding says no. Lynette Gooding says no. So here's what you could do. You could go to ice10k.com, ice10k.com. We're going to put that in the chat, and Kurt is going to put it on the screen, ice10k.com. All right. and get a savings and earnings report. It says, Don, I don't have a mortgage yet. Yeah, but you know about how much the mortgage is going to be. So you would fill out the information to get a savings and earnings report. Here is the mortgage I'm going to have, or I think I'm going to have, and here's the interest rate we think we're going to have. And then when you put all your information in, we can tell you the month, day, and year you're going to be debt free. If you ask us any more questions, all right, you want to know, well, what is the best way to set this up? You can get 18 years of our experience on finding the right mortgage for the right individual, or the right company, or what's right for your church. Okay, we can help you to get from the beginning, set up the mortgage so that it will cost you the least amount of interest that's mathematically possible when you use it in our system. Yeah. Cloud-based, artificially intelligent computer system, you can get that. All right. So here is, I'm going to bring up something here. Let me bring up something here. All right. Let me go over this. I've never done this before, and I'm going to do it right now. Let me take Barry off, and I'm going to close this out, and we're going to show you the features and the benefits of the P.I.L.L method. I've never done this before. I'm going to do this. Is the first time we've done this. Okay. We're going to show you how we do this. The features and the benefits of the P.I.L.L method. Now, the P.I.L.L method is an actual business, folks. We save people, and this other example on the mortgage, we can save them $600,000 in interest. $600,000 in interest they don't have to pay. So please, I need you to think about this. If I can save you $600,000 in interest, all right, on this loan, and we're going to give you a program that is a lifetime program, all right, and you can use it on mortgage after mortgage after mortgage after mortgage, okay, because you can use it over and over again. It's a lifetime program. We have people that are paying off their third, fourth, and fifth house on this program. Please don't come to us and think that all we're going to charge is $500 or $29.95 a month, and we're going to be saving you millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest. It's not going to be that way, folks. Okay. But how we figure this is that whatever interest you're going to save, we get a very small percentage of the interest you save. Okay. Very easy. And it's the best value out there. But watch this. Watch this. Here's what we're looking for. Benefits and features of the P.I.L.L method. Here's one. Here's number one. Live an enhanced lifestyle. You will be able to live an enhanced lifestyle with this program. You can live well while you're getting out of debt, and at the same time, build up a large emergency fund. You can build a large emergency fund and live well while you're doing it. You don't have to cut up your credit cards. You don't have to drive a 30-year-old car. You don't have to stay home, sell pizzas at night, or just can't go anywhere, can't do anything, and just throw all of your money at the debt. And once the debt is paid off, then you can start living. Well, by then your kids are 15 or 18 years old. Doing it that way, I mean, that's miserable. That's a miserable way to live. Can't do anything, eating beans and rice every day. Who wants to do that just to try to get out of debt when you can live well to get out of debt? Because who needs to sacrifice what they're doing? The bank needs to give up some of that interest that they're charging you. So people ask me all the time, Don, how much extra money do I need? You don't need extra money. We do this with your current budget, and we show you how to use your current budget so that you can pay less interest so you can get out of debt faster. Pay less interest, get out of debt faster. Pay more interest, stay in debt longer. Period. That's what's happening. You don't need more money. You just need to pay less interest. So that is a complete shift in thinking, because if I think I have to come up with more money to get out of debt, who has more money? If I continue to think that way, who wins? Because if I don't have any more money, I'm just going to keep that loan forever, just making the minimum payments. And the people who own the mortgage, who bought that paper, who are counting on those interest payments for the next 30 years, they win. Because we misunderstood how the program actually works. So let me look in the audience to see if the people raising their hands want to come up to the stage. Go ahead and invite some more people in here in Clubhouse. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, share this with your folks right now and get them in the room. I want to see these comments. I see them coming in. So Gerald Best, so what about if you've already messed up? I'm over 2 years in the original and have already refinanced to the current 645,000 at 3.65. You haven't messed up, Gerald. You have not messed up. You've done the very best you know how to do. All right. I love Maya Angelou, and she said, when you know better, you do better. When you know better, you do better. And this is what we're about now, Gerald. You listen. Have you heard of the text where that you want to recover, you want to get back, you want to recover what the locusts have eaten. Yeah, the locusts ate it up, but God will give it back to you. All right? That's what's happening here. You're learning something better. So what we're going to do, Gerald, is take a look at how much interest do you have left to pay. I'm going to take a look at that. And then our program is going to tell you of that interest you have left to pay, then we're going to cut that by between 75 and 80% on average. How about that? Gerald Best says, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So listen, folks, he's 2 months. He's already 2 years in. So here's my question. When is the best time to start saving money? When is the best time to start saving money? You tell me. All right. So here's what we're looking at. All right. The P.I.L.L method, build up a large emergency fund, pay off all of your mortgages, whether you have one mortgage, two mortgages, or three mortgages. The average time to pay off even three mortgages is between 8 and 12 years. All right. Lynette Gooding says the best time is now. Gerald Best says the time is now. The best time is now to start saving money. Okay. So student loans pay off in 5 to 7 years. I don't care how big they are. Do you know we have doctors and lawyers on the P.I.L.L method who have a mortgage and student loans, and they pay it all off in 7 to 9 years on average, because the student loans can pay off in 5 to 7 years. How in the world does that happen? We need to understand what prepayment of principal actually does. All right. Here's what else is going on. You can cut your interest cost by 75%. You can know the month, day, and year you can be debt free. Lifetime financial consultation, which means we have a whole team here at the P.I.L.L method that does nothing but help you to take your other money and how to grow your net worth. P.I.L.L method is not just debt reduction, is also wealth creation so that your family can grow wealthy, because we have a mandate, ladies and gentlemen. We have a mandate to lay aside monies so that we can lay aside monies for our children's children. You need to lay up an inheritance for your children's children. How can you do that if you're throwing all your money away on interest? So if you can pay off your debt in about 7 years, listen, read your Bible. Read your Bible. So in the Old Testament, debts were forgiven after how many years? After how many years were debts forgiven? Put that number in the chat right now. After how many years were debts just wiped out? Wiped out. All debt. Just wiped. No matter how much money you borrowed, after 7 years, what happened to it? Yep, 7 years. 7 years that it was forgiven. So why keep debt forever when you can have it done in about 7 years. Okay. A lifetime financial consultation you can have with this program and not pay an extra dime more for the financial consultation because it's part and parcel of the program. All right. You can participate in our rewards program, which means you can sign up today as an affiliate. And by sharing your good news or sharing this program with other people, we will pay you when they become a client. All right. You can get paid. All right. Here's the rest of the story. Features. This is the most powerful money management, wealth building, debt elimination system ever created. We guarantee that we're going to save you more interest mathematically than any other program on the planet. No one even comes close. So when you take a look at all other forms of getting out of debt and you compare it with the pill method, no matter what you're doing, you says, listen, this is the best knowledge that we have on getting out of debt. Do you realize that if you use that method, you're going to pay somewhere between $50,000 and $70,000 more in interest than if you use the pill method? Yeah, you can get out of debt faster. You can get out of debt faster than 30 years. But what good is it when you find out that you paid $50,000 to $70,000 more in interest than you needed to pay to get it done? All right, we got all these folks here putting these sevens in. Bernice says 7. Cynthia Daniels Hall says 7. Roddy Roderick says 7. Gerald Best says 7. Listen, we got some Bible students in the house, Pastor. Pastor Nugent, we got some Bible students in the house. Save Lynn says 7. Lynette Gooding says 7. So we got these people who are saying 7, but it can be done. It can be done. What else have we got here? All right. It is the most powerful program on the planet. If it turns out that it's not the most powerful program on the planet, we've got a remedy for you, and I'm coming up to it. Okay. We have a program that's computerized optimization, works like financial GPS, directing you to the fastest way to zero debt. And the fastest way to zero debt is the cheapest way. We have people on staff who maintain our computers, our servers. Okay. They get a weekly salary to come, because when you log in, because the program is not downloadable, it's cloud-based. So you have to have people there who maintain the computer system for you so that when you log in, it's there for you. All right. So we have to pay them. All right. We have to pay them. You can't get that for $29.95 a month. You're not going to get that. Okay. You're not going to get that for $500. You're just not going to get it. All right. So you're also going to get a coach. What? A coach that's going to call you every other week or so and spend an hour with you, helping you to maintain your program and to learn more about it, learn it faster, and become more efficient and come up with strategies just for you. You're going to get a coach on top of all of this. All right. There's a one-time, very affordable fee, one-time fee, and it's cheaper than refinancing. Cheaper than refinancing your loan. And refinancing won't do what you want it to do anyway. Okay. You thought you were saving money and getting out of debt faster when you refinance, when you find out you're actually not. Okay. People refinance every 5 to 7 years. And every 5 to 7 years, they give you a brand new 30-year mortgage. How are you getting out of debt faster if you've been in a mortgage for 7 years and you get a brand new 30-year loan when you refinance? Now you have a 37-year loan. How are you getting out of debt faster? And then in another 7 years, you do it again. Now you got a 42-year loan. This is the trap they get us into. All right. There's a one-time, very affordable fee that's cheaper than refinancing. And from now on, whatever mortgage you put in here will get paid off in an average of 7 to 9 years. You pay for it once. Lifetime. It is a lifetime program. Never goes away. Okay. US-based IT. All of our IT workers, all of our servers are US based, nothing outside the country. Okay. On top of coaching, you get lifetime toll-free customer service. What? Toll-free customer service for a lifetime. When you call the number, somebody answers. Somebody answers that phone when you call. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, not email customer service. You know, some of these companies now, when you want to talk to somebody, it's practically impossible to find somebody that can help you. All right. And when you do, they're in another country. No, our customer service is US based. And when you call, you don't get a recording. If you call during business hours, you don't get a recording. Somebody answers the phone to answer your questions. From now on, those people get a paycheck every 2 weeks. They get a paycheck every 2 weeks to be there for you. All right. So, so what else do we have? All right. Lifetime customer service. Oh, here's the times we're open: 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Mountain Time, Monday through Friday. Somebody's going to be there for you. And then there's a money back guarantee, now prorated for life, 100% guarantee, non-prorated for life. So Don, why do we need a lifetime guarantee if I'm going to be out of debt in 7 years? Well, that's when you came on the program. But what about the next house? We have to guarantee that one too. And the next one, and the next one, and the next one. We have to guarantee, the program has to always be there for you. And it must always work on whatever debt you add into it after you log on, and we don't charge you again, not a single dime. But if the program ever fails to operate correctly, or you can't access it and we can't fix it, you get all your money back. I don't care if you paid off 5 houses. If the program fails to operate correctly, you still get your money back. Who does that for you? Who does that for you? All updates to the program are free. Try that with Bill Gates. If you're using Microsoft Word and you get it from Microsoft, try telling them, I want to pay you one time and that's it. Yeah, after a year or two, if you don't keep paying them, that thing stops working. Okay, not with us. You pay us once and that's it. So folks, this is what you're going to get by working with us. So let's get back to understanding prepayment of principal. All right. And when we've got this on the screen, we also looked at when if we prepay this, we don't have to pay that. All right. What if we made a mortgage payment and we prepaid 3 principal payments? Look at that. We knock out over $12,000 worth of interest we never have to pay. That is crucial. When you prepay, you need to know how much interest you saved. You need to know how much interest you save. And right now we don't. We have no idea how much interest we're saving when we prepay. Not only that, the banks don't tell us how much we're saving. Not only that, we've never even thought to ask how much interest we're saving. If you've paid extra on a loan, and you turn around and ask, how much interest did I just save? Put it in the chat. Say, yes, I have done that. I have actually asked how much I've actually saved in interest. Put it in the chat. Say yes, yes. Or just say, no, I've never asked. I didn't think I could ask. Okay. Trina Patton says, good morning. Is it better to focus on paying off credit card or mortgage? Oh my goodness, Trina. I love the question. How much is on the credit card? Just put it in there about how much money is on the credit card. I can give you one for a $10,000 example, but how much are we talking about? You tell me, and the interest rate. How much? Just give me a number. It doesn't have to be real. It can even be a fake number. How much do we owe on the credit card, Miss Trina? And what is the interest rate? Because I got another example to give you. Okay. All right. Didn't know I could ask. That's what Bernice says. Didn't know she could ask. All right. Never thought to ask, says Roddy. We're not taught to ask, ladies and gentlemen. We're not taught to ask that question. But with the P.I.L.L method, you're going to know the answer to that question every single time. All right. Prepayment of principal. You need to know. All right. So Trina, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put something in here. All right. I'm going to put in a $10,000 credit card. $10,000. It's 100,000. 10,000 at 27%. 27% All credit cards are amortized over 240 months. So if you're learning how to use this tool, this is Brett Whistle, credit cards are amortized over 240 months, right? And then we're going to take this payment out and then recalculate, all right? You have to leave one of these open so the program can do its job, all right? So if I do this $10,000, here's the interest cost after 1 month, $225, Trina, okay? $225. If I have $10,000 on a credit card at 27%, all the financial experts are telling me I need to pay off that credit card. It's killing me at 27%. Is that what you're being told? Everybody's being told that. So let me show you something. If I pay off that $10,000 credit card today, it saves me having to pay $225 in interest. But if I put $10,000 on this mortgage that we heard about this morning, let me go down to cumulative principal here. We put a we pay off $10,000 on this mortgage. Here it is. Look at here. It knocks off 9 mortgage payments and saves me $32,000 in interest. Well, what if I don't have a big mortgage like that, Don? What if I have a mortgage that's only about, let's say about the median mortgage price is in the United States is $400,000 at 5%. Let's take a look at that. $400,000 at 5%. The payment is $2,147.29. If I take that $10,000 and put it on the credit card, it saves me $225. I put it on this mortgage of $400,000 at 5%. $10,000 knocks off 20 payments and saves me $31,000 in interest I never have to pay. So you tell me, if I have a mortgage and I've had credit cards, would you be willing to pay the credit card company $225 so that you could knock off 20 months off your mortgage and save $31,000 with their money? Say, Visa, I could pay you off, but I'm going to make the minimum payment and pay you $225 in interest. I'm going to take my money and put it on this mortgage and save $31,000 in interest and knock off 20 payments. You see, the financial experts, the Dave Ramseys of the world, the Susie Ormans of the world, or anybody else you're talking to, will not tell you that because they're not focusing on interest cost. They're focusing on interest rate. That's what's happening. Okay, there you go. So, Trina, I hope that answers your question. Listen, I love that question. All right. So we have some people online right now. We have some people online that are watching us from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Good morning to you all. Thank you for your participation. Go ahead and keep asking questions. We have people in here from Clubhouse. If you're not a member of the club, go up to Mortgage Syndicate and tap on it and say you want to join. Also, join the P.I.L.L Method House. Tap on my avatar here and find P.I.L.L Method House down at the bottom. Scroll down all the way down to the bottom and join P.I.L.L Method as well, so you can keep getting this good information. All right. And so let's go ahead and continue. I have something from Arts First here. All right. It says, I don't understand the benefit of knowing the amount of how much interest I'll save beyond the fact that saving interest saves me money. Can you expound on the benefits of knowing the exacts? Well, listen, it's called opportunity cost. All right. If you don't know what the focus is, like on this mortgage here, all right, if you don't know how much interest you can actually save, you don't know how much interest you're actually paying. Like on this particular Arts First, listen, here's the benefit. Watch this. On the very first mortgage payment here, the interest is $1,666.67. We take a look at the full payment. Let me put this on the screen. All right. The bank wants us to pay $1,666.67. All right. So we take that 1,600, okay, 1,666.67 and divide it by our total payment of 2147.29. That's our total payment, equals 78%. 78% of your payment is interest. So isn't it important to know how much interest you're actually paying? That 77% of your payment is interest? Wow, 77%. So if I know that $482.63, $482.63 arts first, if I know that it's going to save me $1,664.66, won't I appreciate by $482 more? If I know what I'm getting, instead of looking at, I've got a $400,000 mortgage. I can take about $500 and put it on the mortgage, and I'll still owe $399,000. Isn't that demoralizing? Doesn't that does not do anything to get me excited if I take my $500 and put it on this mortgage and I still owe $399,000. But if I know that if I take that money and put it on this mortgage, how much interest I save, watch what happens when I understand this. I'm going to put my calculator back on the screen. Okay. So I take my interest savings of $1,664.66 and divide it by what I prepaid, which is $482.63, divided by 482.63. Here we go. Equals, there it is, 3.44. You move the decimal place 2 places to the right. Okay. That's 345% return on your money. That's a 345% return on your money. Where are you going to get that kind of interest? Where you know that if I know exactly how much I'm going to be receiving, I not only know how much I'm going to save when I do this, I know which loan to attack. Because I could attack this, I could attack my credit card with that $400, okay? And I'll save less than $225 in interest if I do that. Or I can take that $400 and put it on this mortgage here and save $1,664.66. If I don't know how much interest I'm saving, if I can't calculate it, if I can't measure it, how do I know where I'm going to get the biggest bang for my buck? And I know that's important to you. You know how I know that's important to you? Here's how I know. And I need you all to put this in the chat to make this ultimately clear. If you need gas, you're about to run out, okay? And there's 2 gas stations on the corner that you like. 2 gas stations on the same corner that you like. Which one are you going to choose? Okay, you're about to run out of gas, and there's 2 gas stations on the corner. Which one are you going to choose? Put it in the chat today. Which one are you going to choose? Which gas station are you going to choose? Put it in the chat, somebody. Which one are you going to choose out of the 2? How are you going to know which one to choose? I'm waiting for somebody to write it. I know what you're thinking, but I'm actually waiting for somebody to put it in here. Which one are you going to choose out of 2 gas stations you like best? She says, probably the one with the lower price. Okay. Eric Toom says the one with the cheapest cost per gallon. That's the one you're going to always try to find the cheapest. Okay. Now I'm going to ask a second question. By how much money? It has to be cheaper by at least how much? How much? How much? $1 a gallon? 50 cents a gallon? How much cheaper does it have to be? Lynette says one that's cheapest. Gerald says the cheapest. Deidre Hicks says the cheapest. Cynthia Daniels Hall says the cheapest. By how much money? Cheaper by how much? I know what you're thinking, but go ahead and write it anyway. Okay? Cheaper by 5 cents. All right? Any amount. Lynette says, even if it's a penny. Lynette says, even if it's a penny. So listen, you know it and I know it. I will choose a gas station over a penny. If there's 2 gas stations I like, I am not going to pay a penny more per gallon. I know I'm not going to do it, and you know you're not going to do it. If your gas tank is 17 gallons and you're completely empty, do you realize you just made a decision for 17 cents if you fill it up? You made a decision for 17 cents. And everybody in here would do it. And you don't think it matters to know which loan you should put your money on? If one loan, it's going to save you $25 in interest, but the same amount of money would save you $1,664.60 in interest. You don't think it matters how much you're going to save? You better believe it matters, because that's the main thing that's keeping us in debt forever. All right. So that is prepayment of principal. Now we're going to get to isolating the principal amount. We've done the P. Now we're going to I. All right. Roddy Roderick says, have agreed to pay a set amount if you make all the payments on time at no extra? That is, what is he saying? That is the loaned amount and the interest. Any payment you make early will eliminate interest, the interest side of the loan. That's right. Any payment you make, extra payment or prepayment, any prepayment saves you interest. All right. Lynette says, boom, that brings it home. Boom, that brings it home. All right. That's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. We just need to put these things in context, things we deal with every day, but we've been taught to ignore them. We've been taught to ignore them. So I, in the P.I.L.L method, what does that stand for? It stands for isolating the principal amount. If you have a certain amount of money that you could pay, if you have a certain amount of money that you are working with, you can prepay a penny, you can prepay a dime, you can prepay a quarter, $100, $500, depends on how much you have. You want to be able to isolate or come up with the right amount at the right time to pay. So you have a lot of different options. Listen, if you have $100 you're working with, okay, how many pennies in $100? So from 1 penny all the way up to $100, that's how many options you have to prepay. When you prepay the right amount at the right time, you will save more interest per dollar than if you pay a different amount. So when you're buying something, it matters how much you're paying per pound. Okay. How many of you like grapes? How many of you like grapes? Go to the store. I'm going to get me some grapes, and don't tell anybody that you'll actually pull off one of the grapes and taste it before you buy a bunch, because you want to know if they're crunchy and if they're sweet enough. You do it. You do it. You pull off one of those grapes and you bite it. All right. And you eat it right there in the store. And if they taste good, you buy them. Okay. But if you see a sign that the grapes are $10 a pound this week, are you buying grapes? Are you buying grapes if they're $10 a pound? Folks, it matters what your dollars are doing for you. So you want to isolate the principal amount so that you can get the biggest bang for your buck. If you pay the right amount in the right day, in the right month, on the right day of the month, you can save a ton of interest more. So here's an example. If I can figure out that I'm saving $6 in interest for every dollar I place on this mortgage at this time, in this month, on this day, doing something different, instead of saving $6, I'm only going to save $4.50 per dollar. Would you want to save $4.50 for every dollar you put on when you could save $6 for every dollar? You tell me. Isolating the principal amount means I want to be able to save the, I want to know how much to pay and when. All right. Here's what leveraging. So, isolating the principal amount, how much of my money do I pay at any given time? Now, with the P.I.L.L method, you're not prepaying your loan every single month. You're only prepaying at certain times during the year. All right. You're only prepaying at certain times during the year. I'm going to bring up our artificially intelligent computer program to show you that you're not doing this every single month. So we're going to bring that up so that you can see. All right. Bring up a new window over here on screen 3. Get into the program. All right. And then once we get into the program, we're going to bring it up and I'm going to show you what we're talking about here. All right. Getting in. And now we're bringing up a demo. All right. And then I'm going to bring that demo over so that you guys can see what's going on. Soon as it loads here, we're loading in a demo and getting some information for you. All right. Undeceived says, I would like to do this as a business to help as many people as possible. How do I access the program? All right. ice10k.com. Contact us and we'll talk to you about how you can work with us. All right. How you can work with us. Or we can set you up in your very own business. All right. And you can call it whatever you like. All right. So yeah, ice10k.com, undeceived. Contact us and we'll talk about it. How you can do this as a business. All right, watch this, folks. So we've got John and Rebecca Jones here. John and Rebecca Jones. All right. Let's see. We're going to reset this program. We're going to reset the account. All right. There we go. Reset. Now, here is our information we want to, we're looking at. This is called the action plan on this. If you're new to the room and you want to see this, go to YouTube on a secondary device, search for P.I.L.L method, and you can see what we're doing. All right. Years to pay off. All right. And debt. Okay. So now, John and Rebecca Jones, we take a look at the accounts. They have $227,000 worth of debt, $25,000 on their car loan, $2,000 on their Visa, $200,000 at 6% on the mortgage, coming to $227,000. The program has already figured out that they're going to save $179,592 in interest they'll never have to pay, and therefore they could be out of debt in 7.7 years. Now, they're starting this program in March. They're starting the program in March, and by starting the program in March, look at this. They are just making the minimum payments on the debt. They're going to pay the minimums on the mortgage. They're going to pay minimums on the Visa, and they're going to pay minimums on the auto loan. Even though the program is telling them, because of how much money you're making and how much money you're spending, you see these little red and blue arrows? This is the program telling them, take money out of your checking account and put it in your savings account. This $100.90 you don't need for anything else this month. Put it in savings and keep it there. All right. Then we pay the phone bill. Rebecca gets a paycheck. And now we're going to put 500. I'll make this a little bit bigger. Okay. We're going to put $588.72 in savings now, and we're going to keep it there. So by paying off the bills and just living your life, the program helps you to determine how much money is left over that you can put in savings. All right. And let's change this. Instead of knowing the month, day, and year, you could be debt free. All right. November 10th, 2030. Let's take a look at the next debt transfer. So we're starting out in March, but the program says, based on your spending habits and your income, you should be able to save up $3,120 by May 7th and take that money out of savings and apply it to the debt. So you're not doing it every single month. You're doing this at strategic times during the year. You save up the money and you apply it to the debt. So let's see what happens here. So we're just going to scroll down to May and see what the program says out of that saved money. So out of your savings account, the program says, take the money out of savings. Let's pay off that Visa at one time. Just pay it off. Boom, it's done. And when we pay it off, we're saving $1,736.34 in interest. That is good to know. If they had paid this Visa off with minimum payments to pay off the $2,000, it would also cost them another $1,736.34 in interest. But because they paid it off in 1 month, boom, it's dead. They saved that $1,700. Let's take a look at what else the program is doing. Okay. It's saying take money from your savings and put it on the mortgage. By this time, John and Rebecca Jones have about $8,000 in savings, but the program is saying only take out $1,116.98 of your money and apply it to the debt. But why stop at 98 cents? Why 116? Couldn't we just kind of round that up to 120? Just put like $3.02 on this thing and round it up to $120? Yeah, we could do that. But the program says, no, don't do that, because this is the optimum date and the optimum amount so that we can save the most per dollar. How do we know we're saving the most per dollar? Let's bring up our calculator again. Boom. All right. So leverage means, what is the least amount I can pay? Because now we did the P, we did the I. Now we're going to do the L, leverage. What is the least amount I can pay? Not the most. What is the least amount I can pay so that I can get the biggest bang for my buck? Everything you do, everything you've done up to this time in life is to try to get the best deal you can, except when it comes to dealing with your loans, because we're not taught to do that. The P.I.L.L method takes your ideas, the ideas that you already have. When I go shopping, I want to get stuff on sale. I use coupons. I use codes online so that I can get stuff cheaper. Even on Amazon, when they give me the 5 or 10% off, I'm clicking that little button. I'm doing whatever I can to save money, except when it comes to paying off these loans. I will put any amount on the loan and think that whatever I do is as good as anything else I can do when I'm paying off my debt. And that is completely wrong. You want to do the very thing that's going to save you the most amount of money. So in this case, we're going to put on, we're saving $5,000. Let me make this a little bigger. Make it a little bigger here. Boom. All right. We're saving $5,400. Okay. Clear that out. $5,435.91. Okay. Okay. We're leveraging now. We're coming up the right amount of money to kill the most amount of interest. And so when we do that, we're going to divide it by 1,116.98. Okay, we're going to divide it by 6.98. And we find out that we can save $4.87 per dollar. Isn't that good to know? If I put this on, I'm going to save $4.87 per dollar. I'm putting that in my notes. Write it down, $4.87. Now I have about $8,000 in savings. I got $8,000 in savings here. So, but the program says only put this much on, but I could easily put $1,500 on, right? $1,500. And the program calculates for me how much extra interest I'm going to save. Now I'm saving $7,259.78. Well, that's got to be better, right? Well, that's got to be better. Let's take a look. Let's put that in. All right, we're doing $7,259.78. We're trying to get the biggest bang for our buck here, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to divide it by $1,500 now. and that equals $4.84. I was saving $4.87 with a smaller number. Now I'm saving $4.84. I'm saving less per dollar by putting more on at the wrong time. What we're doing here, folks, is we're violating the law of diminished return. There's a point at which putting money on the debt will save you the maximum amount of interest per dollar. You go past that point, you start to lose how much money you can save per dollar. My goodness. That is the law of diminished return. And listen, if you're in HR, if you're in the military, whatever business that you're in, you're looking to optimize not only the materials you buy, you're looking to optimize the people that you have on a job. You want to put the least amount of people on the job that will give you maximum return for your investment. You want maximum output by putting the least amount of people in there. Putting more people on the job, all they do is get in the way and productivity goes down. So what you want is to find out the right number to do anything at all. And that even means putting the right amount of money on the debt. Lynette Gooding said, "This is amazing." Amazing. Roddy Roderick says, "Think about that gas tank example." I'm thinking about it. All right. Iris Johnson says here, she says, on my grapes example, she's pulling it off a good juicy grape, wipe it down, and then chuck it in my mouth. That's right. If they don't taste right, I'm not getting the grapes this week. If they're charging me $10 a pound, I'm not getting grapes this week. Okay. I want to be able to optimize the use of our money. And folks, we don't have a way of measuring the benefit of spending money. We don't have it. So Don, what is so hard about coming up with the right way of spending money? I want to do the right thing at the right time. Is it possible for me to do this on my own? Let me give you an example of that. Okay. If I have 5 variables, okay? If I got 5 variables, that's called 5 factorial, okay? 5 variables, that means, let me say I could put any number of 5 amounts of money on my loan. I could do it at different times. I could do it different times during the week, different times during the month, different times during the year. I have 5 options of money and time. I have to figure out how much money and how much time. I've got 5 options. Do you know that means I can arrange those options 120 different ways? I can do that in 120 different ways, and one of them is optimum. Doing these, I can do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can do it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I can make number 3 up, make that first, and number 1, I can make that one last, and I put the other numbers in the middle. I got 120 different ways I could do this, but only one of them saves me the most amount of money. Do you want to spend the time trying to figure out what that one is? But when it comes to our loans, we've identified at least 10 variables that need to be considered. When you're dealing with 10 variables, here's what's happening, folks. 10 factorial. Okay? 10 factorial. All right? Means there's 3,628,800 different ways to do something. 10 factorial. So let me tell you this story. I've got 10 books on a shelf, and I'm going to pay you to rearrange this shelf for me. 10 books on the shelf, 10 variables. And I want you to keep the books standing straight up, but I want you to rearrange this bookshelf in every conceivable configuration you can for 10 different books. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do each arrangement, and you're going to work 30 hours a week doing it. By the time you've exhausted 3,628,800 different configurations, it will take you over 100 years to complete the task. That's what we're doing. That's what the computer can do for you that you can't do on your own. When it comes to computers aren't smart, they're just fast. It'll take you 100 years to do this. It takes a computer 3 seconds to come up with the right thing to do. Lynette Gooding says, Brother Don, I thank God that he has given you this gift. Listen, I thank God every day that I can wake up and share this with other people. Lynette, thank you so very much. Eric Toom says that's the power of AI. You better believe it. Okay? That's the power of AI, not only to do the calculations, but even get it right down to the fact that last month you paid $200 for your electricity. This month you only paid $177.33. Well, now you have a little bit more money available. That's a fragment of your money available now. How much extra interest can you save with that? Our program takes the little money that's left over from your grocery bill, from your electric bill, from any other bill that you have established in your budget. We're going to take those tiny amounts of money and save you tens, hundreds, or even thousands of dollars extra interest with those small amounts of money, even that you didn't count on. Danny Blanco says, how do I get the program and how much does it cost? Here we go, folks. Here we go. We're going to break that down. Now, I have one letter left. But Danny Blanco wants to know, how do we get the program? Here's how you do it, Danny. Here's how you do it. Go to ice10k.com. ice10k.com. I have it on Clubhouse at the top. I also have it on the screen. We're going to even put it in the chat. ICE, which stands for Interest Cancellation Expert, ICE. The number 10, the letter K.com. When you get there, you want to click on Get a Savings and Earnings Report, Danny. All right. When you click on Get a Savings and Earnings Report, follow all of the directions, especially the direction when you're putting in your cell phone number. Make sure there are absolutely no spaces. We're supplying you the +1. So when you put your cell phone number in to verify it, make sure that your cell phone number is jammed up right next to that 1. All right. And no dots, no dashes. Just put the cell phone number in and click confirm. Once you do that, once you click the confirm, then what it's going to do is send you a text message. That's the code. Take the code, put it back into the website, and then confirm the code. Once that's done, the program says your number has been verified. In other words, you're not a robot trying to get into our system. We don't want to make sure that you're not a robot. All right. And then make sure that you put in the rest of your information, including your zip code, and then click, yes, I want to save. Once you click, yes, I want to save, that will let you into our financial page. Put all of your information in on your debt. What kind of debt? A mortgage, student loans, credit cards, car loans. Just put a check mark into all of those, and then whatever you have, we will provide the spaces for you. We'll build it out for you. Your own form will be built out for you right then and there. Then you put in your mortgage, whether it's 1, 2, 3, however many mortgages you have, student loans, credit cards, how many of you have, car loans, put those in, and then once you complete that with all the information we ask for. Then you click on submit. When you submit the form, then within 48 hours, you're going to get an email right away that we received your information. Then within 48 hours, somebody from my staff will give you a call to confirm the information you put in. Make sure it's right. Make sure we have what's right. And if it's right, at that point, we'll tell you the month, day, and year you'll be debt-free and how much interest you can save. All right. Now this is going to be individual. All right. And we're going to do a calculation where we're going to be able to tell you how much, based on how much interest you save, how much the program costs for a lifetime. A small percentage of your interest savings pays for your program one time, and then you can use the program over and over again for the next mortgage and the next mortgage and the next mortgage, and you never have to pay us again. If you're a real estate investor, guess what? If you're using this in your business, then not only do you pay for it once, but it's also tax deductible. Oh my goodness. Just talk to your tax professional, all right, and see if our program is tax deductible for you. And most times it is. If you're a real estate investor or in some type of real estate business, okay? Now, here's what I need everybody to know. We have people on the program who may have $80,000 like in student loan debt. That's all they have. Do you know we have people with over $2 million worth of commercial properties? Well, we don't charge everybody the same amount because they don't have they don't have the same amount of work. They don't need the same amount of coaching. They don't need the same amount of anything. So what we're doing is we're coming up with the most fair way of doing this so that the monies that you would have paid the bank, listen to me now, listen to me. The monies that you would have paid the bank, that you're not going to pay the bank, a small percentage of that pays for your program. So are you actually paying for the program? Or is the money the bank no longer is going to receive is what pays for your program so that you can be a winner? Oh my goodness. I love that part. Okay. You're going to win based on the fact that the bank is no longer going to get all of the interest that they were looking for. You're going to use some of that money to pay for a program that not only will get you out of debt in about 7 years, save you about $150,000 on average, but that's just on the first mortgage. If you run any others through there, we're going to help you with that too. All right, Deidre Hicks. So let me see what else I have here to deal with. Okay, we're going to go back up to undeceived. Oh, all right. Thank you, Kurt. Kurt says, Gerald Best is, what about couples with some joint and some individual loans? Oh my gosh, working together? Do you mean we've got couples who want to work together to eliminate all of their debt? Because some couples, I'm bringing my student loans. I'm bringing my student loans. I got my credit cards. You have your credit cards. You got your car. I got my car. And we're all, listen, what if we decide to want to work together and we get out of debt in 5 to 7 years by working together? And now instead of paying debt, you can travel, you can contribute to your favorite ministries. You can do a lot of things with that money instead of giving it to the bank. So working together actually works. All right. So Undeceived says, I have no debt. So can I bypass the form? If you have no debt, you don't need our program. There's nothing for us to do for you. And in fact, some people have even contacted us and said they give us their amount of debt that they have. They have so little debt and so little interest to save. We can't even recommend the program to them at this time.
Hey, Don.
Yes.
For Undeceived, I think he wants to become an affiliate.
Okay. Undeceived, if you want to become an affiliate, so here's what
or to set up to do the program. He's the one that asked that question earlier about, how can I show people how to do this? I think he probably just needs to just book some time with you, or
yes.
I don't know what he can do, but he doesn't have debt, but he wants to help people just like you're doing. So I don't know what options are there for him, but just wanted to kind of clarify that question. There's a couple more. Let me know if you want them.
Well, let's handle Undeceived. Thank you very much, Kurt.
No problem.
Undeceived, here's what you want to do. Go to ice10k.com and click on the button that says become an affiliate. It takes 15 seconds to sign up. All right. If you want to spend some time with me, go ahead and get to our complete business card. That link is on there too, and contact my assistant, and they'll set up a meeting for you so that we can talk about how you can help other people. All right. So you don't need that other form at all, sir. You don't need that. Oh, yes, for business. Yes. And we'll show you how you can do that. Sign up to become an affiliate. You can make anywhere from $300 to $3,000 a month as an affiliate. From $300 to $3,000 a month as an affiliate. We'll show you how that's done. Deidre, what are you asking us? Does it make sense to reach out to you before getting a mortgage or an auto loan for guidance? Yes, most definitely. Reach out to us before so that we could help you to set up the loans that'll save you the most money in interest. There you go. All right. Undeceived, I have no debt. There you can kind of bypass form. We got that. Colin says that would be great. Undeceived says for business. And then Lynette Gooding says, I've tried many times to sign into the savings report, but it keeps saying error. That's because you have spaces in your phone number. Make sure that your phone number has no dots, no dashes. Make sure that you put your phone number right next to that number one with no spaces. Okay. So once you do that, it will, and then when you click on submit, you will not get that error. All right. And so Lynette, I'm telling you, if you get that error even one more time, here's the number I want you to call. All right. Call 256 886 1867. All right. Call that number, talk to the receptionist, and tell her that you want me to call. You want me, as for Don Daniel. Listen, don't let them try to put the call through to me. It's not going to go through today because it's Sunday. Tell them that you want me to call you back and hang up the phone. Okay, there you go. I want Don to call me back. All right, and I will. But don't let them try to put the call through. Okay, because I'm not going to pick up. Okay. 256-886-1867. That's the number you dial. That is our business number. Don't try to text that number, ladies and gentlemen. We have a text number, but it's not this one. Okay, there you go. So I will help you on that front. All right. So folks, we have one last letter, and that's liquidity. We've gone over prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. Now it's time for liquidity. I'm going to teach you a new term here. A new term. It's called fungible, fungible. All right. When you're dealing with money, we have an idea that cash is best. Cash is king. Cash is not king. Let me tell you something. When you understand interest cancellation correctly, the P.I.L.L method way of doing things is cheaper than paying cash for your house. What? You mean by borrowing money? By borrowing money is less expensive than paying cash for the house. All right. I got somebody down. Katori wants to come up and invite her to speak. Okay, Katori, I've just clicked on you. I didn't know how long you've been waiting, but come on up if you have a question. And all right, Steve Mack wants to be invited. Come on up, Steve. Anybody else wants to be invited? Raise your hand. Come on up. Raise your hand. Come on up and ask a question. So, Katori, how's it going?
Hi, how are you?
Doing fine. And you?
Good, thank you.
So,
I was curious about people who are in a reverse mortgage and people who have modified.
okay. Which one do you want to know first?
Either one.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure I got them both.
Okay. So if you have a reverse mortgage, you're not looking to pay off the mortgage. In fact, you're taking your equity out. You have to be at least 62 years old to take advantage of a reverse mortgage. What you're doing is that you're saying, you know what? I don't want a mortgage payment anymore. I've got this equity. I'm at the age now where I'm just thinking about, I just want to go right off into the sunset here. Let me get my money and run. All right. So
I understand. I understand. I don't mean to cut you off either,
sir.
But I just wanted to interject right there because some elderly people do it because they can't afford to make a payment. Like, you know what I'm saying? They can't afford to make a payment, but if they found a way to actually do that and keep their house and perhaps put it in a trust so that they can pass it on.
Right. That
might be a way.
That might be a way. Okay. And what was the other question?
Just about modifications.
Modification. So when I've seen a modification, all right, oftentimes that modification becomes a 40-year mortgage. And I love 40-year mortgages. So if you had a modification, you definitely want to call us yesterday.
Okay.
So you can take advantage of the fact I now have a 40-year mortgage. And when you see that what an amortization schedule does to a 40-year mortgage, you will be amazed. Okay.
Okay. What did you say was the best way to get in touch with you to talk about selling or becoming a
go to ICE 10K.
not an affiliate?
Go ahead.
ICE 10K.
Yep.
I'm on your ICE 10K.
Right.
Where do I go?
And then there's another button that says you can find our business card, our digital card. Click on that and you'll see my assistant's name. Her name is Teresa. You can contact her with a direct line or call the business line and leave a message. Somebody will call you back.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you very much for coming up. Anything else?
Nope. I'm trying to scan your business card.
Listen, once you pull up the full business card, here's what you can do. Scroll down to the bottom. All right. And you'll see the white bars. One of those bars says add. You can add it to your, if you're pulling it up on your phone, you can add it to your contacts, or you can even add my card to your home screen. So my picture would come up on your home screen. So you just click the picture anytime you want to get our information.
Actually, I'm having a problem doing either one of those.
On your phone?
Okay.
I
mean, it's scanning, but the thing about it is it's not coming up as download on my phone, on my phone or on my desktop. Because what comes up is the picture calls. Let's see, because we no longer had a mortgage. So that video.
Did you put
in
ice10k.com?
I'm on ice10k.com, but that's what comes up when.
All right. So you're not trying to scan anything. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. It's ICE. I'm putting it up on my screen now so everybody can see it. ice10k.com. All right. And then if you scroll down, you see buttons. Get your savings and earnings report. Refer a friend. ICE10k live. And underneath my picture, it says check out my digital card. You click that button.
Got it.
Okay. So you got to scroll down and click the buttons.
Okay, got it.
When you click,
I was clicking scan my
no scanning. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And so now you bring up my full card here. All right. And all of our information is there. When you scroll down to the bottom of that, you can add to my contacts or add to my home screen. There you go.
Okay.
There you are. Ms. Katori, thank you so much. And everybody that works with us gets their own digital business card.
Perfect.
All righty.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Good morning, Steve. How are you, sir? We're getting ready to get out of here today.
Oh, I'm great. Yourself. It's always a pleasure to be on the platform. Just wanted to populate the room. You know me.
All right, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right. So here we go, folks. I am we're finishing up leverage here. All right. We're finishing up leverage. All right. And we're going to go back to what was that? What is that? Oh, no, liquidity. We're on liquidity now. And we were looking at fungible, fungible. Okay. Fungible, it means a product or commodity, even your money, replaceable by another identical item, mutually interchangeable. Did you realize that $10 in your bank account or $10 on your credit card, they both spend? You can buy $10 worth of stuff. And most people believe that the $10 in the bank is better than the $10 on the credit card. I can show you how, if you use your credit card right, it's better than cash. Now, somebody else in Tennessee might tell you differently, because we don't tell you to cut up your credit cards. We show you how to use your credit cards so your credit cards will pay you money. Okay? So when you're talking about the fungibility of money or liquidity, all of your available funds is liquid money, whether it is in your pocket, in your bank, or on your line of credit. We're going to show you how to leverage all of that so that you can pay the least amount of interest that's mathematically possible. So prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage and liquidity, ladies and gentlemen, and using AI technology to measure your interest cost and come up with a plan that's going to give you the best interest savings. There is no brain on the planet that can beat this AI system that has been created to save you interest. So if you want to know more about that, folks, go to ice10k.com, get your savings and earnings report. Also, go there, go to the link on that ICE 10K and order your book today. Get that book and start teaching it to your children and your grandchildren. And also become an affiliate today and start sharing this with people, and we'll start paying you. All you need to do is share with us, give this information to individuals. If they want to know more about how to get out of debt, and they're tired of the way that they're doing it, then send them to our YouTube channel so they can watch it. Follow up with them in 2 days. If they have $100,000 of debt and more, and they want to know more, fill out the referral card. You fill it out for them. Once you fill that out for them, send that to us. Put your name in there so that we'll know that that referral is yours. Put your name and phone number in, and then we will call you, find out what we can, then we'll call that brand new client of ours. Once they become a client, we'll pay you. It is simple as that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. We're getting ready to get out of here. So let's hear from Dr. Eric Thomas one time, and then we're going to say goodbye. But if you're on Clubhouse, hang out for a few minutes. I got something else for you today. Goodbye, everybody. Let's hear from, we got Trina Patton. Hi, I asked a question earlier regarding if I should pay off my credit card on my mortgage. I was driving and lost the connection. All right. Call my office at 256-886-1867, Trina, 256-886-1867, and ask the staff to tell them to have me call you. They're not going to tell them not to try to put the call through, but leave me a message. Let me give you a call back on that. I'll see you, everybody. Goodbye.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down from my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.